Welcome everyone to the MMO Weekly News Update. My name is Brightlife. What's my name? I do great things. My mom always said I would do great things. Welcome everyone to the weekly MMO news update. My name is Brightlife. This is my fancy suit, and today we have a lot of great news for us. Things that I'm very excited about in the news, including EVE Online getting brand new ships, Lord of the Rings Online shipping free products, and a brand new MMO that for you old school MMO players may actually entice you. We also have Elder Scrolls Online making massive waves in its monetization policy, which I'm very excited about. So let's jump right into the news. Now our first story tonight comes to us from EVE Online. EVE Online launches new ships ahead of its upcoming update. Now, it says that the developers behind EVE Online, the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. Trent, does the Chinese Communist Party run EVE Online? Wait, that can't be true. Crowd Control Productions. I suppose the CCP does commit crowd control every so often. Are you trying to get me shot by saying the CCP runs EVE? You know those fans are crazy. Behave, Trent. Behave. CCP Games, the producers of EVE Online, is ramping up towards a big return to expansions with Uprising later this year, and the update deployed recently, Empire Frontiers, aims to help set the stage for what's to come in the upcoming expansion. The update adds new player events on the front line of factional warfare, giving exploration and combat sites to players, as well as mining events aimed at unlocking new technologies in New Eden. These technologies for the players themselves are access to a host of new ships, the first time that EVE Online has introduced new ships since 2020. Now, my chat in Twitch is always telling me that I should not play EVE Online, and that honestly makes me want to more. Apparently this is a very addictive game. I've never personally tried it out yet, but I would love to try it at some point. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see me do a quick review on EVE Online. Although from what my chat tells me, if I start EVE Online, I will never play another MMO, and maybe that's a good thing. I think I'm supposed to have a spreadsheet handy as well. Either way, this is exciting for EVE Online players. New ships always means new possibilities, and new Microsoft Excel possibilities as well for your ship mining needs. If you played EVE Online, are you excited for these new ships? Please let me know in the comments below. I love reading those. But let's move on to our next story. Now, in other news, Standing Stone Games, the producers of Lord of the Rings Online, have unleashed a brand new wave of free content for their players, including highly discounted expansions coming in at around $5 per expansion up to the most recent one. Now, this is an exciting thing for new players because Lord of the Rings has these things called quest packs. These allow you to experience a brand new story, which Lord of the Rings Online is very famous for, and they've essentially taken every single quest pack and released them for free using the code FREEQUESTS2022 in the LOTRO store. Allows you to get access to these, and this is an exciting move for Lord of the Rings Online. I've been critical of Lord of the Rings Online in the past in being a little bit too bloated, a couple too many monetization options to where it can get a little confusing for free players, so I think this is a very good thing that they're doing this. But they didn't stop with free quests either, which is very exciting. They're essentially taking 3 of their newest expansions up to the very newest, which are Mordor, Minas Morgul, and War of the Three Peaks, and discounting them down to around 99 LOTRO points, which is around $4 or $5 if you buy them directly from the store. However, one of the most exciting things that Lord of the Rings Online does, in my opinion, is allows you to earn these points through in-game deeds. So if you kill 50 wolves, like you will in general, you'll get between 5 and 10 Lord of the Rings Online points, and these deeds are pretty easy to complete. There are lots of deed accelerators, so you can essentially get everything up to the most recent expansion basically completely for free just by playing the game, and that offer runs through the end of October. You'll want to use the code FREEQUESTS2022 to get access to this, and in general, I love things like this. I think that giving people more access to a game as great as Lord of the Rings Online is just a better thing. They do have a new mini expansion coming up in the future called Before the Shadow, which looks to be a great experience, especially for the returning players, going from levels 1 to 32, and I'm very excited for what this is going to bring. The producers, Standing Stone Games, have also worked alongside content creators, beautiful, attractive, wonderful content creators, like myself, to give away free copies of the Gundabad expansion, as well as all of the other expansions, a new horse, the riding skill for non-VIP players, and those giveaways are going to be going all the way through the end of November. So, and of course you can find these giveaways just by going on Twitter, but lots of great things are happening in the Lord of the Rings online space. It's very, very exciting. Now, the Elder Scrolls Online is bringing its new DLC model as a reward for community achievement. Now, this is a very exciting one because, of course, in the past, when Elder Scrolls has new chapters or downloadable content, you would utilize Elder Scrolls points, their crown system, to buy those new expansions, or you would just be a VIP and that would get you the newest DLC. Now, Elder Scrolls is actually doing something a little bit different with its newest upcoming DLC, Firesong. And here's how it's going to work. The Heroes of the High Isle event, announced earlier this week for those that own the High Isle chapter, consists of several community goals involving player completion of High Isle Pathfinder achievements. The more players that explore and unlock it, the greater the rewards. Most of the rewards were already announced, things like cosmetics, mounts, little treasure packs, things like that. But on stream recently, they announced that the Firesong DLC will be completely free for all High Isle owners on 100% completion in this community event. The team has also put High Isle on sale if you're looking to jump back into the event. The community now sits at around 26% completion, with the event ending on October 11th. Now, this is a really cool thing, and to break this down, essentially what's happening is there is a large meta event going on across each server in the High Isle content. You do this Pathfinder achievement in the High Isle content, and then if the server achieves 100% completion in the next 9 days from now, then everybody that has participated in the achievement will automatically get the new DLC completely for free. And I think this is groundbreaking. This is very exciting in my opinion, because instead of ESO going the normal route of charging for this DLC or just pushing people into a paid subscription to get it, which they normally do, they're actually going to be rewarding people for playing the game with the DLC. And not only that, they're also going to be rewarding veterans for helping players who are coming up through this Pathfinder achievement to help the entire server get to 100%. I mean, talk about a motivation to play with other players in the game. This is exactly what an MMO should be, and I love this. Now, personally, I haven't played ESO in a while. I loved the game for a little while, and then I stopped playing it, but I've got to tell you, learning about this achievement kind of makes me want to jump in again, because I think this is innovative. This is exciting. This feels like something that a great game would do, a game that is confident in its ability to bring players in. This seems like that kind of a move to me, and it makes me want to play the game. So I may actually have to jump back into this game. Although there's just way too many MMOs to play right now. This is like fire sale season for MMOs, but I love this. This is an awesome idea. I love meta events. It reminds me of like World of Warcraft Scarab Lord and the things that happen in Guild Wars 2 all the time, but you're actually getting what is essentially an expansion or a mini expansion if your server completes this task, which I think is incredible. Now, in this event, every day the meter is going to update, showing the community's progress in unlocking the achievement. The more players who complete, the faster the meter will rise and hit the mark for that 100%. And so I'm going to continue to follow this story. I hope that every server gets to complete this, but I just think this model is awesome. And what do you think? Do you like this model? The only downside I could see is if you're on a dead server, but if that's the case, then you probably have VIP because you're very dedicated to the game and you're probably going to get Firesong anyway as a free thing. But I just think this is a great way to incentivize the community. Well done, ESO. All right, and for our next story, New World is continuing to crush it. They are continuing to add new servers as their populations have been rising rapidly. Oh, the population has risen according to Steam charts by 75% in the last 60 days, with 50% of that coming in September in anticipation of the upcoming release of the Brimstone Sands update, which is coming at the beginning or middle of October. They haven't quite announced a date for that yet, but people are excited. People want New World to be great again. And I recently did a video on the new player experience for New World, and I really loved it. I think it was really good, and as this hits live servers, I'm interested to see how this game takes shape. Now, there are going to be servers introduced across all regions this week, including the new server Asgard to Central Europe, and then Lanka in South America, Themyscira. This is not my fault, Trent. This is not a real word. I'm not an idiot. I just can't read that word. Themyscira in the US East. It's the East Coast anyway. Who cares about the East Coast? West Coast, best coast. And Alcumea in the US West. Now, new servers are always a good sign in my opinion. It means the game is growing. It means hype is around this game, and I love seeing more players come to MMOs. So I'm excited for the New World Brimstone Sands update. Are you excited? I'm pretty stoked. I think it's going to be a good one, but I love the fact that this game is growing again. Now, it was a decent skeleton of a game with really no meat on the bones, but now I'm very excited to see that this game is getting some meat on its bones. The new zone looks cool. The new player experience is great. I'm excited to see what happens. Now, in quick World of Warcraft news, Dragonflight launches November 28th. A leak kind of confirmed this a long time ago, but we've got a new expansion release date. And in a blog posted on the official World of Warcraft website, Blizzard Entertainment detailed that the expansion will introduce the Dragon Isles, a new environment and the ancestral home of the dragon aspects, a new playable race known as the Drakthir, and a new Drakthir exclusive player class known as the Evoker, which is a spellcasting and mid-range healing spec. It's also going to introduce dragon riding, a new skill-based method of aerial traversal that will allow players to fly on the back of their own personal drake that can be customized throughout the expansion. It's very reminiscent of Guild Wars 2's Skyscale, if you're familiar with that system. I'm excited for Dragonflight. I feel like World of Warcraft is a very seasonal game. It's very fun to play at the beginning of an expansion, and at some of these major patch updates is when people tend to flood back in, and then they kind of go back to their respective expansions. But hey, the hype is really fun while it's there, and so I'm excited to be playing it. If you'd like to see someone play the game, I've got a great Twitch stream. We meet every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and a couple times throughout the weekend every once in a while. Be sure to follow that Twitch in the link in the description below so that you can know when we go live with this update, but I'll definitely be playing Dragonflight. I'm very excited. Now, in other World of Warcraft news, Wrath of the Lich King Classic also released this last week to thunderous applause. People are very excited to go back into Northrend. I know a lot of my Discord members have been loving the game. I've, of course, been a little busy with a lot of the things that have been going on stream, but I am really looking forward to getting into Northrend myself. But have you been playing Wrath Classic? Let me know. What class are you playing? Are you enjoying it? Has the launch been smooth for you? I know that some servers are still pretty locked up, but hopefully you've been able to play a little bit. Let me know about your experience in the comments below. And our last two stories come from outside the big 5 to 10 MMORPGs, which the first one is NCSoft showed off their new game Throne and Liberty. They had a new closed internal beta test with 3,000 employees that showed off an incredible looking game. Now, in this closed beta test, we did see some incredible things like character creation, exploration, and some huge large scale encounters in the form of 1, huge world bosses, and 2, expansive PvP castle sieges with lots of players on screen competing to bring their side to victory. Now, these things really appeal to me. I love big open world bosses. It's one of my favorite things that Guild Wars 2 really introduced me to. And also, just like Guild Wars 2, are these castle sieges. These look immaculate. These look incredible. I don't even care if the game is not in English. I want to play this game. And I'm hoping that Throne and Liberty is going to be free to play, but we'll have to see. Either way, I'm definitely going to sink my teeth into this game whenever it comes out in early 2023. I hope they can fix some of the lag issues. It seemed like there was a lot going on with the servers there, of course, with 3,000 people in one area. But if they can fix the lag issue, if they can make this game appealing to a Western audience, I think it's going to be really, really good. All right, and lastly comes a very interesting story that I'm actually really curious about your take on, because the brand new self-proclaimed old school indie MMORPG Embers Adrift gets an announcement date of October 15th, and it's really trying to be an old school MMO, and I think that's both good and bad for reasons I'll explain here in a moment. Now, what is Embers Adrift? Of course, it is an upcoming MMORPG from Stormhaven Studios. It's promising an immersive, challenging group-placed gameplay with a focus on community. They want you to blaze a path through untamed forests, forge into cavernous depths, become a light in the dark. Ignite your adventure and see what awaits across a new horizon. Join in on immersive group-placed gameplay filled with challenging content and focused on community where MMO players come to form lasting memories. Embers Adrift is a PvE game where the best rewards are the ones that you earn. Now, I was very interested in this game when I first saw saw it because this is a crowdfunded game, which I typically say to stay away from, and so I was kind of looking for the angle of why maybe this wouldn't work, but it actually seems quite fascinating, and I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen because here's how Embers Adrift really sets itself apart. They want us to enjoy a more what they call a meaningful gaming experience. While other games can bombard you with tooltips, cash shops, and pop-ups that break immersion, Embers Adrift lets you take your time, play at your own pace, and learn as you experience the world. There is little handholding, and you may need to take a few notes as you play, and you'll definitely be more immersed as you learn to navigate the world without a minimap, pointing you to exactly where you need to go. Inspired by classic MMORPGs and tabletop games, our goal is to provide a fuller experience. While many modern MMOs trade engagement for convenience, Embers Adrift attempts to strike a balance that respects our players' time and offers an immersive experience. Now, this is very fascinating. They're really trying to be an old school MMO. This is trying to be one of those that doesn't have a mini map, that doesn't have really quest markers. You have to actually talk to NPCs to see who will give you a quest experience. They won't show you, of course, on a map without a mini map where the quest can be completed. It's very FromSoft. It feels a little bit like an Elden Ring or Dark Souls, but trying just not to hold your hand, which is very old school MMO. This is going to really appeal to people that like that old school style of MMORPG. They are, of course, saying that there's not going to be a cash shop in the game, which is a huge thumbs up, not even for like convenience items, not even for cosmetic items. This is really exciting to me, and I think it'll be awesome. But there is a downside. This is an old school MMO in more ways than one, and the way that I think might be a little negative for their game is in their monetization model. Now, the announcement also goes into details, confirming a box price and a subscription model. Players who want to dive in can buy the game at a discount of $30 through the month of October, which includes 30 days of game time, and take advantage of a discounted sub price of $10 a month if subscriptions are locked in before the end of 2022. Otherwise, subscriptions will cost $15 a month starting in 2023, and the box price will rise to $40 in November. Now, as much as I think that this is a solid model, I do think that this encroaches into the territory of some real giants in the game, like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV. When you're an indie company that's starting an MMORPG, you need to give players as much access to your game as possible so that they will take a chance on it and actually try to dive in. I think that this game looks interesting, it sounds interesting, the concept is sound, but when you have World of Warcraft that releases its expansion at $40 and has a $15 a month sub fee, you're really trying to go up in monetization against some giants. When there are so many free-to-play MMOs out there that then offer just a subscription to play, I'm wondering how this is going to work. Now, I am rooting for this game. I hope that games like this begin to take off because a lot of people miss these old school, no holding hands MMORPGs, but I think that that price might turn some people off. The idea of having to buy a game and then also pay a subscription is really only reserved for the two largest MMOs that are out there right now, which are World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV. But I'm actually really interested in your take. Do you think this game will be successful with its current model? I think that the idea of the game is great, and if it plays well, I think it could be good. I just worry about them getting enough people into the game because of the monetization model that exists there. So I'd actually be very, very interested in your take in the comments below. Well, friends, that's all from me from Bright Life Studios. Thank you so much for watching this MMO weekly news update. I'd love to hear your favorite reaction to stories down below. If you liked this video, please leave it a like. It helps more people see the MMORPG news. If you'd like to subscribe to weekly MMO content, please hit that subscribe button below. I want to say a massive thank you to our patrons. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It really helps us do more of these videos and makes it more worth it for us to do it more often. But friends, the two things that I say at the end of these videos are the most important things that I can possibly say. It is that you are more loved than you know, and you are so much more valuable than you realize. I hope you have an incredible day, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. I want to let you know a couple ways to connect with me. First of all, we got an awesome Discord in the description. We've got a Patreon if you'd like to give to the channel and help support more video creation. And I am live on Twitch quite often over at twitch.tv/brightlifecommunity. Would love to see you there. Always love interacting on those live video streams. But I hope you have an incredible day, my loved and valued friend. Have an awesome one.